The adrenaline that had fueled his every action began to ebb away, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude for the safety of his crew. That he stood at the shoreline, water still dripping from his skin, and absorbed the gravity of what had just transpired. Bravery took on a new meaning in that moment. It wasn't just about performing stunts or facing fears, but about stepping up when it truly mattered. Jason realized that every second he had spent contemplating his decision to jump had been critical, a reminder of the weight carried by those in positions of responsibility. That it wasn't merely about being a hero in an action film, it was about rising to the occasion when lives were at stake. The faces of his teammates lingered in his mind, their expressions shifting from panic to relief as they emerged unharmed from the ordeal. That he felt an overwhelming sense of duty to protect them, a sentiment that resonated deeply with him. This experience taught him that true leadership involves vulnerability and courage. Sometimes, the greatest risks lead to unimaginable rewards. As he watched emergency responders tending to those affected, he understood that teamwork and quick thinking could turn dire situations into stories of survival. Jason vowed to carry these lessons forward, not only in his professional life but also personally, always ready to face challenges head-on and support others in their moments of need. In the days following the dramatic rescue, news of Jason Momoa's heroic leap off the cliff spread like wildfire across media outlets and social media platforms. Headlines blared with phrases like, "Actor becomes real-life hero," and "Daring rescue, Jason Momoa saves crew from helicopter disaster," capturing the public's imagination. Videos of his plunge circulated widely, showcasing not only his bravery but also the chaotic scene that unfolded, making it clear that this was no ordinary day on a film set. As the story gained traction, fans and followers flooded social media with their admiration, posting heartfelt messages of gratitude for Jason's quick thinking and decisive action. Memes celebrating his heroism went viral, blending humor with awe as people shared their astonishment at how an action star had transformed into a genuine lifesaver in real life. Comments poured in from all corners. Fellow actors praised him for his courage, while fans expressed their pride and appreciation for someone they admired not only on screen but in a moment of crisis. Among the chatter were also discussions about the broader implications of such actions in a world where ordinary individuals often hesitate when faced with fear. Many highlighted the importance of stepping up during emergencies, inspired by Jason's example. As interviews rolled out and talk show segments featured him discussing the surreal experience, he remained humble, emphasizing teamwork and the collective effort that made the rescue possible. This incident had not only showcased his physical capabilities but had also ignited conversations about bravery and responsibility in modern society, an unexpected legacy from what began as a typical day filming an action movie. As the dust settled and the excitement of the rescue faded, Jason Momoa took a moment to absorb the gravity of the experience. Standing by the shoreline, he reflected on the sheer unpredictability of life and how spontaneous actions can lead to profound consequences. The leap he took wasn't just a physical act, it embodied the value of courage, an innate drive to protect others that can rise to the surface in the most critical moments. Jason recognized that this incident would shape his future projects and personal philosophy. It served as a poignant reminder of the importance of stepping outside one's comfort zone, not only in daring situations but in everyday life. The world often demands us to be more than we think we can be, and in that pivotal moment, he had embraced the unknown with conviction that he felt inspired to incorporate these lessons into his upcoming roles. Recognizing that characters who embody strength and vulnerability resonate deeply with audiences, Jason envisioned projects highlighting teamwork, bravery, and the unexpected hero within each person, narratives that could inspire others to rise above their fears. Moreover, he understood that responsibility extends beyond individual acts of heroism. It encompasses uplifting those around us. This newfound clarity fueled his commitment to advocate for causes close to his heart, encouraging others to act with courage in their own lives. With the sun setting on the horizon, Jason felt hopeful about the future, embracing spontaneity and valor not just as fleeting moments but as guiding principles for every challenge ahead. The chaos echoed around him, shouts intensified, and the sound of the helicopter's failing rotor cut sharply through the air. Without any further deliberation, Jason realized that hesitation could have catastrophic consequences. His mind cleared, and as he took a deep breath, a single thought resonated: he had to do something. The faces of his crew hovered in his mind, friends who had trusted him to protect them, and with each passing second, their shared laughter turned into a haunting reminder of Their precarious situation, letting fear dictate his actions, was no longer an option. This was about more than just himself, it was about safeguarding lives. Jason took one last glance at the helicopter, struggling to maintain altitude above the rocky outcrop that he could see the pilot desperately maneuvering, the crew inside frantic yet brave in the face of impending doom. Instinctively, he felt a strong connection to them. A warrior's drive to ensure their survival, with determination coursing through him. Jason stepped back momentarily, gathering his courage for the leap that would define this day. Then, grounding himself in his decision, he ran forward, launching himself off the edge of the cliff like an arrow from a bow. The world fell away as he soared toward the turbulent sea below, fueled by purpose and the hope that he could make a difference in a moment of crisis. With the adrenaline surging through his veins, Jason charged forward, the world around him blurring into a vibrant tapestry of colors and sounds. Time felt suspended as he leaped off the edge of the cliff, gravity seizing hold of him as he sailed through the air. The wind whipped against his face, an exhilarating rush that mixed fear with resolve as he plummeted toward the foaming ocean below. His body arched gracefully, muscles tensed and ready to absorb the incoming impact. That as he fell, thoughts of his crew flooded his mind, fueling every second of his descent with purpose. That he could hear the distant shouts mingling with the roar of waves crashing against rocky outcrops, reminders that he was fighting against time itself. In that split second before hitting the water, Jason focused on his technique, angling himself for entry. His heart raced, not just from the thrill of jumping but from a fierce determination to reach those in danger. The moment seemed to stretch out infinitely, each heartbeat echoed in his ears like a war drum urging him onward. Then, with a powerful splash, he broke the surface. The cold water enveloped him like an icy embrace, but there was no time to linger in shock. Jason quickly regained his composure, swimming powerfully towards the chaos above. Every stroke propelled him forward with sheer force and intent as he surged through the water, driven by instinct and a burning desire to protect those who relied on him. In this pivotal leap, he had become more than an action star. He was a hero in real life. As Jason plunged through the air, the world above quickly faded, leaving only the rush of wind roaring past his ears like a wild animal unleashed. It felt as though he were in a zone of suspended reality, where everything except for that moment ceased to exist. The fresh scent of the ocean filled his lungs, fueling his adrenaline while each heartbeat reverberated with intensity. Thoughts raced frantically in his mind, mingling with the sensations of the fall. Images of his crew flickered in and out, their faces both vibrant and urgent against the backdrop of impending doom. The ground approached rapidly, an unpredictable canvas waiting to receive him. Jason's instincts kicked in as he mentally rehearsed his entry technique. This was no longer just a stunt from a movie script, it was a race against time. Doubts morphed into resolve as he focused on aligning his body, preparing for impact amidst the cacophony of nature's fury. The ocean surged towards him like a powerful force that could either embrace or crush. In that split second before he hit the surface, everything narrowed into a singular thought: stay centered. He braced himself for the icy shock of the water, heart pounding like thunder in his chest and fear mixing with determination as he visualized the lives at stake. Then came the moment of truth. Water enveloped him entirely in a frigid embrace, collapsing around him in an explosive splash that felt both terrifying and exhilarating. As he submerged beneath the surface, instinct took over. He had to surface and race toward those who needed him most, transforming every ounce of panic into purpose. As Jason descended, every fraction of a second felt critical. He calculated the trajectory of his jump, positioning himself to land in the optimal spot where he could quickly surface and assist his crew. His keen instincts, honed from years of performing stunts and understanding physics, kicked into high gear. The helicopter's erratic path loomed beneath him, and he noted how its descent mirrored his own, a race against time that demanded both precision and timing. He spotted the whirlpool of churning water created by the helicopter's unstable hover, recognizing it as a potential hazard that could impede his swimming. Focusing on aligning his body for entry, he mentally marked where he needed to hit the surface. Just a few seconds more, he thought, urging himself to remain calm as fear ebbed further into the background. As he approached the crucial moment of impact, Jason honed in on every detail: the swirl of water below him, how far away the helicopter was, and the frantic movements of its crew. If he miscalculated even slightly, it could mean disaster, not just for him but for everyone involved. With every heartbeat synchronizing with his descent, Jason steadied himself and focused on hitting the water, not too close to where debris could fall but not too far from those who needed help. Finally, As gravity pulled him down, he launched himself forward at just the right angle, landing cleanly in the water with minimal resistance. The icy embrace enveloped him instantly, but his focus remained sharp as he broke through the surface, eyes keenly trained on the chaos in front of him, ready to spring into action. As Jason hit the water, the impact was explosive. A thunderous splash erupted around him, sending droplets flying like diamonds caught in sunlight. The coldness of the ocean enveloped him instantly, a stark contrast to the warmth of the sun above. For a moment, he was disoriented, the shock of the icy embrace stirring his senses while the roar of the helicopter faded into a muffled backdrop. But there was no time to linger. Instincts kicked in, and he pushed toward the surface with powerful strokes, breaking through the water with renewed urgency. He gasped for air, lungs filling with the crisp ocean breeze, and quickly reoriented himself to assess the scene around him. Chaos reigned as the helicopter hovered precariously, and the crew inside struggled to maintain their composure amidst rising panic and uncertainty. Jason's heart raced as he spotted one of his teammates frantically waving from a nearby rock formation. Desperation flickered in their eyes, mirroring the fear that coursed through him. He knew he had to act fast. Every second counted, drawing on every ounce of strength and resolve. He propelled himself toward his crew member, cutting through the waves with determination. As he swam closer, the roar of the helicopter above mingled with the sound of crashing waves, creating a cacophony that heightened his focus. With instinctual agility, Jason navigated the treacherous waters, his gaze fixed on his friend. This was no longer just a daring leap. It was the beginning of a rescue mission that would test not only his physical prowess but also his unyielding spirit in the face of adversity. As Jason swam powerfully toward the helicopter, the chaotic scene unfolded around him. The crew became a flurry of activity, scrambling to stabilize their positions as the pilot fought to regain control amidst rising alarm. Above the turbulent waves, the thundering rotor blades cast shadows over those in peril, creating an atmosphere filled with both urgency and fear. Jason's focus sharpened as he navigated closer. Each stroke propelled him through the choppy waters, the salty spray hitting his face like nature's reminder of the stakes at hand. He could see the crew inside the helicopter, some frantic and shouting for help, while others clung desperately to their seats, their faces pale with fear. Time felt like a tightening noose. They needed assistance fast. Every instinct Jason possessed told him to act, but he couldn't do it alone. Just as he neared the craft, he heard distant sirens, the first sounds of emergency responders rushing toward the scene. He spotted a small boat approaching from the shoreline, crewed by lifeguards ready to assist. Their coordinated response reinforced his determination. They were all in this together. Drawing on his own quick thinking, Jason shouted to one of his teammates still aboard the helicopter, directing them to throw out a rescue line. His voice cut through the panic as he offered precise instructions, knowing that clarity was crucial in crisis. Simultaneously, he kept swimming toward the submerged area beneath the helicopter, fully aware that quick action could prevent further chaos and even more desperate situations. With every second counting, Jason moved with purpose, knowing he had to be their beacon in the storm. In the aftermath of the chaos, as the helicopter was finally secured and those on board were rescued, Jason found himself reflecting on the harrowing experience. Nestled along the rugged coastline, the air was crisp and filled with the invigorating scent of saltwater. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the jagged cliff where Jason Momoa stood, poised for yet another day of filming his latest action epic. Crew members bustled around, adjusting cameras and securing equipment as waves crashed dramatically against the rocks below. Laughter floated on the breeze, an unspoken camaraderie evident among the team, creating a warm atmosphere that belied the impending chaos. As Jason reviewed his lines, a sense of calm enveloped him. He loved these moments of connection with nature and his colleagues, away from the hectic world of Hollywood's red carpets. In that serene environment, he could feel invigorated by the adrenaline of performing daring stunts. Today was supposed to involve spectacular aerial shots that showcased both his character's determination and the breathtaking landscape. Yet, within this idyllic scene, beneath the surface, mechanical issues lurked like shadows waiting to pounce. A helicopter hovered above, its blades slicing through the air in a rhythmic dance that harmonized with nature's symphony. Unbeknownst to everyone on set, this aircraft would soon spiral into panic, its crew unaware of their swiftly approaching peril. As Jason caught sight of it in his periphery, he felt an instinctual tingle race down his spine, a warning that hints at what is to come. The peaceful facade would soon shatter, compelling him to Confront a fate far beyond scripted lines and cinematic action. As the crew finished setting up for the aerial shots, a low hum from the helicopter filled the air, a sound that should have brought excitement but instead began to raise eyebrows. The pilot, an experienced veteran, was making final adjustments while communicating with the ground team. Suddenly, without warning, a sharp clunk echoed from the helicopter's rear rotor. The pilot's expression shifted from concentration to alarm as he frantically assessed the gauges on the control panel. A momentary silence fell over the set, replaced by an unsettling whirring noise that sent a jolt of anxiety through those nearby. The helicopter began to wobble unsteadily as warning lights flashed ominously in the cockpit. Within seconds, it jerked violently before losing altitude rapidly, hovering precariously like a leaf caught in a tempest. Gasps erupted among the crew as they realized something had gone terribly wrong. The pilot attempted to regain control, but with every passing second, it became clear that their situation was deteriorating. With one last desperate effort, he radioed for help, his voice tinged with urgency and disbelief as he conveyed their impending crisis. "We're going down, I can't stabilize." Panic rippled through the crew as they scrambled for safety. Jason's heart raced. He instinctively turned toward the cliff's edge where all eyes were now glued to the faltering aircraft above them. His instincts kicking in, he understood that their day of filming had morphed into something far more dangerous than any scripted scene could portray. Jason stood at the edge of the cliff, heart pounding as he watched the helicopter's erratic movements above. Instinct kicked in, but a wave of uncertainty washed over him. The sounds of chaos echoed around him, shouts from the crew, urgent chatter on radios, but his focus remained locked on the spiraling aircraft. That he could feel adrenaline coursing through him, mixing with a heavy sense of responsibility for those on set. In that moment, Jason grappled with an agonizing dilemma. Jumping off the cliff seemed like an audacious idea but also a reckless one. If he leaped into action, would he actually be able to save anyone, or would he only make matters worse? His mind raced through every possible outcome. If he succeeded, there might be a chance of averting disaster. If he failed, it could lead to injury, or worse, for himself and others. Yet inaction felt equally devastating. To do nothing while watching helplessly as lives hung in the balance was a torment he couldn't bear. The faces of his crew flashed before him. Friends who had shared laughter and camaraderie moments earlier now caught in peril. He envisioned their lives flashing before his own eyes. Realizing that time was slipping away. As he stepped closer to the edge, Jason closed his eyes for a brief moment, summoning clarity amidst the chaos. It became evident that there was no time for hesitation. Courage would take priority over fear. With determination igniting within him, he readied himself for what lay ahead, knowing that every instinct urged him to act. In that fleeting moment, Jason's heart surged with a mixture of dread and resolve as he stared down at the turbulent waters below.